nothing like enough is currently available. There are inventory out there. There's obviously a huge building stock with this stuff sat in there. There's a lot of material out there to have. We don't know how much. I don't think anybody truly has a handle on it, but there's a hell of a lot more than is currently getting into the system. But there's not a big inventory sitting right now. I've only got about half my inventory currently available to people because the other half is supposedly going to somebody else to do something else with. And it doesn't. So it sits there reserved, unavailable for 6 months, and then eventually I get to find out that somebody decided to make a bloody great hole in the 5th floor and that steelwork doesn't work anymore. So there's those sorts of things as well.
And we were looking at how can we use like materials passports. If we had materials passports for a geographical area, we know, unfortunately, how short-lived most buildings are. And therefore, if you had that level of information stored centrally, you could do the hypothetical analysis. Like, you know, all of these commercial buildings, they're probably going to be knocked down in 30 years, and this is the distribution of steel section in them. You know, and there'll be massive error bars on that, but actually the conclusions that you'll draw will be useful for informing your design. So again, that was all kind of, it's quite theoretical and future thinking, but like those ideas and the prototyping is there, but we do need the data to use to make any of these things, you know, give us the real answers.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you would have these buildings as sort of like material stock for future buildings. Yeah. You could even then sell these materials, you can even sell the options on these materials, but I think the financial industry will probably have a, I don't know, manipulate that into something monstrous as they would normally do. But at least I think it's quite interesting. Then you maybe also solve that issue around timing, where you can, you know, buy the option on that material before it sort of matures in the next 5 or 10 years or so.
But it's a question of when you ask the question. And I don't have any confidence when people approach me early design stages that what they're going to build is going to look anything like the thing they're asking me about. And I don't think most of the engineers in this room believe that's going to happen either. So there is a problem, and excuse me for this, but a friend of mine once said, I've got 2 balls and neither of them's crystal. You can't predict what's going to be the case down the way. So ask the question when you know the answer is going to be the one that you can work with, because it saves everybody a lot of time and effort, and it doesn't let yourselves down, making promises you can't keep. So that there is not the inventory there that people would like to be there. So if there's only going to be, and we heard Jonathan say earlier, putting 100 ton in a 3,000 ton project, that's laudable because we haven't got tens of thousands of tons to feed in.